This weekend was homecoming. We have a look at all the activities that took place.
Plus, we sat down with dining services to hear how they are dealing with the shortage of employees.
We're going to look at and see how those temperatures will warm up later on.
We have that and more. This edition of 15 News at 5 starts right now. Thank you for joining us on 15 News at 5. I'm Jessica Burns.
And I'm Blake Harms.
Breaking news happening overnight. Shots were fired at a Walmart in Hobart yesterday evening. At around 7:30 last night, a man opened fire in the Walmart parking lot, injuring 2 people, a 25-year-old man and a 9-year-old boy. There were no fatalities, but police are looking for the suspect who fled from the scene. If you have any information about the suspect or the event, the Hobart Police Department urges you to call them at 219-942-1125.
On September 20th, Professor Dubik received a promotion to officier in the Order of the Palmes Academicus. A special ceremony was held for this occasion as the Consul General of France, Guillaume Lacroix, visited Valparaiso University for the occasion. Professor Dubik received this promotion because of her contributions to French culture and language.
2 weeks ago, we sat down with a student to hear about the staff shortage in dining services and how it affects the student body. This week, we talked to Joanne Pesavento, Director of Campus Services, and Eric Muchara, Executive of Administration, to find out how they are navigating this challenge. According to Pesavento, Founders keeps every station open during lunchtime. In the evening, they close the Pizza Sizzle station. Pesavento suggests students who want pizza should go to the cafe where pizza is always available. Additionally, pasta has been relocated and is available Tuesday and Thursday between Nuevo and Sizzle. Founders has not changed their hours, and Pesavento said, quote, "We are here to serve the students the best way we can, every way we can." Pesavento and Machara want to hear student feedback and recommendations. They also encourage students to apply for employment. If you are interested in working for dining services, applications are available on Handshake. They are searching for people to work in Founders, Grinders, the cafe, and catering. They are flexible with student scheduling and encourage students with breaks in their day to fill it with a shift.
Think Nebraska is just a flat state with a lot of corn? Well, think again. VUTV's Colin Luft talked to Grace Bierman about the art exhibit in the chapel that highlights the beauty of the state.
For some, Nebraska is not just a place, it is filled with memories. Professor Amy Tomasek has an exhibit of the readings, pictures, and artwork from Nebraska set up in the chapel. We sat down with one of the authors, Grace Bierman, to see how she played a critical role in making this happen.
The paintings in the exhibit are by an artist named Lee Johnson, and he is the father of the Dean of Engineering, Dr. Eric Johnson. Professor Tomasek was really interested in doing some sort of exhibit of Dr. Johnson's paintings and pursued it further and realized that the chapel might be a good place to host it. And then she realized she could expand the exhibit to include both some photographs of hers of Nebraska as well as the paintings of Nebraska by Dr. Johnson.
Nebraska means a lot to each of these people. She was able to share her stories of Nebraska through her writings, Sufficient Grace and Second Person Past Perfect.
I'd love it if people had a greater appreciation of Nebraska after reading, obviously, because I've talked to lots of people over the years who go, oh, Nebraska is just this flat place that you drive across to get to more interesting stuff. And I'm like, well, technically that's just because you're on the interstate. If you leave the interstate, you'll find all kinds of great stuff that's less obvious.
This work of art was carefully chosen to show what life in Nebraska means for these people. From paintings to photography to writings, each tells its own story about another beautiful day in paradise. This exhibit is open to the public until November 5th in the Chapel of Resurrection for all to enjoy. Colin Luft, VUTV.
Valparaiso University's theater took center stage this weekend with The Dream of the Burning Boy, directed by R. Andrew White. The story follows a school counselor as he helps students and faculty through grief after a student unexpectedly passes away. The play premiered on Friday and ran again on Saturday and Sunday. The Dream of the Burning Boy runs 3 more times this weekend in the Valparaiso University Center of the Arts Student Studio Theater. The last showings are Friday, October 5th at 8 p.m. and at 2 p.m. on Saturday, October 6th and Sunday, October 7th. Tickets are free with a university ID, $10 for seniors and non-Valpo students, and $15 for adults. You can purchase tickets at the front desk of the VUCA Administrative Office or online. Now the calendar may say it's October, but it's definitely feeling warmer than fall. We have Heather Brick in the studio today. So Heather, how long are these warmer temperatures going to last?
Well, these temperatures are going to last just for this week, which is definitely going to elevate our chances for thunderstorms later on during the week. Right now, the radar is looking pretty clear around our area, slight showers around the Joliet area as well, but that's not entirely true for the rest of the United States. We have some showers just north of us sitting right there. But looking at our temperatures currently, Valparaiso is sitting at 82, 70 in Gary, and 68 in Chicago. We're going to take a look to see how this will affect our week later on, with slight chances raising on through the thunderstorms later on.
Thanks, Heather. The hearing of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh was Thursday. We have details on the verdict.
And today marks the 1-year anniversary of the Mandalay Bay shooting in Las Vegas. Hear from one man who is constructing a monument for people to remember the event, coming up.
Good morning, Valparaiso University. What's the better way to start your day than with a new jam? And WVUR has just what you need.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it... If dying young won't change your mind, baby, right.
Broadcasting sports, news, weather, and music on air, online, and on campus. WVUR is my jam.
President Trump has ordered an FBI investigation into Supreme Court nominee Judge Kavanaugh after another day of chaos on Capitol Hill, following emotional testimonies from Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and one of his accusers. Kristen Holmes has the latest from Washington.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, the votes are 11 days.
And with that, Brett Kavanaugh one step closer to taking a seat on the Supreme Court. All 11 Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee voting in favor of Donald Trump's controversial nominee. But the critical deciding 11th vote from Senator Flake, coming with a last-minute stipulation and plenty of drama.
I think it would be proper to delay the floor vote for up to, but not more than 1 week, in order to let the FBI continue to do an investigation.
The White House agreeing to GOP leaders' request to conduct an FBI investigation into, quote, current credible allegations. That investigation will conclude no later than next Friday. Flake possibly feeling the pressure when earlier, after announcing he would vote yes in committee,
What you are doing is...
sexual assault survivors confronting him in a Senate elevator after learning about his decision.
Look at me when I'm talking to you. You're telling me that my assault doesn't matter. Don't look away from me. Look at me and tell me that it doesn't matter what happened to me.
In addition to Flake, all eyes will be on two female Republican senators, Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, considered swing votes. Even if Collins and Murkowski vote against Kavanaugh, he could still be confirmed with a yes vote from a red state Democrat like Joe Manchin of West Virginia or Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota. In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
President Trump has signed a massive spending bill Friday, which avoiding a government shutdown. A White House aide says Trump signed the bill privately in the Oval Office with a few lawmakers. The president had been giving mixed signals on signing it because of the lack of money for a border wall. The House overwhelmingly approved the bill Wednesday, 362 to 61. It includes a continuing resolution to provide money for the remaining unfunded parts of government until December 7th.
Today marks the one-year anniversary of the mass shooting in Las Vegas that took 58 lives. One man wants to make sure everybody remembers. Greg Zanis made a cross for each victim shortly after the shooting. He put them out at the iconic Welcome to Las Vegas sign, which is close to the Mandalay Bay, where the tragic event took place. Now he's bringing them back to help people cope with the somber anniversary.
A year is a really tough time because they've gone through every birthday without their loved one. They've gone through the holidays without them.
At least 384 people have died and more than 350 are injured following a series of earthquakes and a tsunami that devastated the Indonesian island of Sulawesi. This is according to authorities. Thousands of buildings collapsed and evacuations were still underway Saturday in Palu City in the Donggala region of Sulawesi. Indonesia's disaster management agency said. CNN's George Howell has more.
Scenes of chaos as a nearly 10-foot tsunami sweeps over the beach and into buildings on Sulawesi Island in Indonesia. The result of a 7.5 magnitude earthquake rattling northwestern Indonesia on Friday. You can hear the sound of people screaming, running to the streets, coming to grips with the damage and loss. Hundreds killed and hundreds more injured. The numbers expected to climb. The power is out and phones down all over the region, including at the main hospital in Palu. The director of that hospital desperate for any help possible, calling for tents, supplies, and even nurses. Several aftershocks followed the big earthquake, damaging and destroying thousands of homes in the area. Indonesia's president tweeting that he is monitoring the situation. Quote, "May our brothers and sisters remain calm and be safe," he says. Help is on the way. The Indonesian military is sending in emergency supplies, medical and search and rescue teams. A tragedy the country is all too familiar with. Just a month ago, another earthquake struck Lombok, taking the lives of 430 people.
A favorite childhood toy is helping an injured turtle get on the road to recovery. Lowell Messler has the story.
This is the story of how a toy helped a turtle. It was a couple of months ago when workers at the Maryland Zoo found this eastern box turtle in a grassy area in great pain, most likely hit by a car.
So he has 7 different pieces that were fractured, so kind of like a puzzle. So he was very severely traumatized.
Veterinarians at the zoo were able to repair the damages to the shell with bone plates and pins, but they still had one big problem.
And then we were trying to find something to keep him off the ground since he has the fractures on the bottom of his shell. We didn't want him touching the ground to reduce his pain.
They tried everything, but nothing worked until that favorite childhood toy, Legos, came up in conversation.
So we came up with the idea of wheels, and then from there we thought of attaching Lego wheels to something that we could put above him like a brace. And so that's where the idea of the wheelchair came in.
And the wheelchair design is actually very interesting. You have plumber's putty on the side of it and Legos, we're told, that come from various different sets. As far as the idea is concerned, it came from a vet student here who was doing his externship. So the student came up with drawings and designs, and she built this wheelchair, and we put it on him, and he's been great ever since.
If all goes well, with continued rehab, he should be released into the wild within a year.
It's been really great to see how well he's responded to it.
An engineering marvel helping this little turtle one step at a time.
Coming up after the break, Heather Bricko will have your full forecast.
Plus, we'll take a look at this past week's Crusader sports. Stick with us.
What is passion? At Valpo, it's something that pours out of us uncontrollably. It's a late night shot of caffeine, cramming for finals, a jam session with friends. It sees deep into space, turns big stuff into small potatoes, floats boats and floods the senses. Passion is alive, it has a heartbeat, and it lives in you. How do we know? Because at Valpo, passion is who we are.
Well, I think that's all we need. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll be in touch.
Okay, this is it. Just shake his hand and walk out with your head held high. Don't mess this up. Thank you. Nailed it. Don't let a bad handshake get in the way of getting the job you want. Find out more at the Career Center.
Valparaiso has seen some weather that is definitely warmer than what we can expect for fall, but that trend should continue on through the week. Now let's time it out for you. Tonight, we are going to drop down to 67 with a light wind of 9 miles per hour. But tomorrow, our temperatures will be a high of 73 with some sun still. So it's going to feel a little bit like summer still out there with a slight wind of 7 miles per hour out of the north. Now looking at our future temperatures, we're going to see those temperatures dip down just a little bit to 71 and 72 in Gary and 70 in Michigan City. Now later on when this system comes through with slight chance of rain, we're going to see temperatures drop to 67 in Valpo, 66 in Gary, and 64 in Michigan City. By Wednesday and Tuesday night, we should see those dip down all the way to 56 degrees, feeling a little bit more like crisp fall weather in Valpo. Now, looking at Wednesday when this other system's going to come through, we're going to have a high of 80 in Valparaiso, 82 in Gary, and 83 in Chicago. Looking at our future radar, Monday the system's going to come through, and Tuesday at 3 a.m. it looks like we're going to get our first chance of slight showers, which we're going to be under a lot of cloud cover in Valparaiso. Looking through, this system's going to push right on through towards Fort Wayne, and by the afternoon the showers should definitely continue on, but we are going to be a little bit clear through the evening, and by Wednesday we're going to have another system come through, and those chances will be elevated through the week. But right now, Tuesday, we are sitting at a high of 73, low chance of thunderstorms, and by Wednesday and Thursday we should be warming up just a little bit. But our chances of thunderstorms are going to raise quite a bit of weather from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on through the week. So it's looking like it's going to be a pretty active weather week for us here in Valparaiso.
Now, when does it seem like we're going to get a break?
I think by Tuesday night, those showers should definitely clear up. And then Wednesday afternoon, they're going to fire up again because it's going to get more instability in the forecast. So.
Alrighty, thanks, Heather. Coming up after the break, we'll have a look at your past week's Crusader sports. Stick with us.
In a world where entertainment is at risk, one man is given a mission, but he is about to face his biggest challenge yet. He will race against the clock and open doors to new possibilities that will save weekends as we know it.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for free movies.
Oh, I'll help you with that.
Just go to movies.valpo.edu. They have all the best movies, including The Hobbit and 22 Jump Street.
Whoa, it's that easy?
It's that easy.
Grab some popcorn, grab some buddies, and watch movies.valpo.edu's great selection.
It was a busy homecoming weekend sports-wise here at Valparaiso University, so let's dive right into the action. The volleyball team extended their best program start with a third straight win in Missouri Valley Conference play. The weekend started off at the Arc with a 3-0 sweep against Drake. Sophomore Riley Cookery hit the 1,000 dig mark as the Crusaders improved to 17-2, winning their 11th consecutive match. The team would then see their 11-match winning streak come to an end Saturday night as UNI edged a 3-1 win at the Arc. The team advanced to 3-1 in the Missouri Valley Conference. The Crusaders will see action next with a Friday night visit from Loyola, first service set for 7 p.m. The football team took Brown Field for a second straight week in front of a large homecoming crowd. The Crusaders scored touchdowns on their first 3 possessions of the game. Valparaiso took the lead 35-34 with the 4:19 left to play. Davidson answered with a 1-yard touchdown in the last minute, putting them ahead, resulting in a 40-35 loss for Valpo. The football team will be back in action next Saturday as they compete against the Dayton Flyers. The men's soccer team fell to Bowling Green Saturday night on the road 2-1. Bowling Green scored twice early on before senior Luca Lacerdia scored the long goal for the Crusaders in the 36th minute of the game. Coach Mike Avery compared the two teams by saying, quote, "Bowling Green has played well throughout the season. They have outshot their opponents in almost every game, yet up until tonight, they've not been able to get the results they probably have deserved based on their performances. That's a familiar story for us." The Crusaders will see action again tonight at Brown Field, kickoff at 6 p.m. versus Oral Roberts. And the women's soccer team came out on the wrong end of a 1-0 match. Despite outshooting Evansville 12-10, Valparaiso had an opportunity to equalize the match in the 81st minute with a penalty kick coming from Valpo, but Evansville goalkeeper came to play. The Brown and Gold will play at Brown Field Wednesday night, kickoff at 7:30 p.m. versus UIC. And in NASCAR, you know I have to give them a shout out.
Yes,
Absolutely
you do.
crazy race. Ryan Blaney gets by 2 leaders at a wrecking. There was a lot of yelling and screaming in my living room yesterday afternoon.
I can bet. Thanks, Blake. After the break, we will have a final look at your weather.
VUTV, your campus, your story.
So it looks like it's going to be a pretty active week for weather, especially some severe weather chances just northwest of us in the Chicagoland area. So it's going to be a pretty great day for those who want to chase.
Good to know.
Definitely. Thanks, Heather. From Blake, Heather, and I, thank you so much for joining. And we'll see you next week on 15 News at 5.